Hi guys, I'll just wait for a few people to connect. I'm just having a cuppa. I will put age restrictions on this because I'm having a smoke, and no, I don't promote tobacco. I'll just wait for everyone to connect. I did say I was going to do an update. I've been editing videos, so I'm a bit behind schedule. That's the reason I didn't put the time frame up. But we're going to talk about the transit and how it's directly going to affect all of us. So again, I will wait for everyone to connect, and we shall get into the read. I've had a lot of downloads, obviously with being away from YouTube and the live sessions. I have had a lot of time to reflect and receive the downloads. Hi love, sorry it's been so long. I have been fiercely editing the videos for Soulmate Twin Flame Path, and I'm going to be doing live astrology. Welcome Canada. So the astrology reads that I'm going to do should be starting in the next 24 hours, hopefully, but I'll give you a heads up in the community tab of when it's going to start, and I'll do 3 zodiacs per time, and then I'll either do it in the morning and then cross over to the evening, so each location around the world will get the notifications. They will be live, so I'll give you a heads up as to what's coming first. But with the astrology reads, what I'm going to do is connect into what house is going to be activated per zodiac sign. Miss you too, Sarah. And with it, I'm going to pull cards, because with Saturn and Pluto going retrograde, each person energetically will have a particular house highlighted. And again, when you do look at your spiritual path to ascension, a lot of detachment is going on. And that's why this video has been called Detachment. A lot of people at the moment are having trigger points. And I don't think a lot of you collectively know. Some of you, when we hear the work, we sort of understand, okay, when we get a trigger point, we need to work through it. 101 of TF journey. But it's also the 3D nature of things. It's also, realizing how far detachment actually goes. I don't feel a great deal of us actually understand the term detachment to a complete level, and still, even within reunion, I'm still working on that process. But detachment's huge. I mean, it's really quite large. And hi Giggle, when we are going through it, it does feel like the dark night of the soul. And obviously with the Pluto and Saturn moving over the north node, and I think it's the true node, south node, regardless, the energy of that occurring on the 30th, it is going to be big impact. So, but the energy of the retrograde cycle will be for 5 months. This is to clear up a cycle. Now, detachment means you understand what you need to let go of. You also understand that it doesn't mean necessarily it's forever. It is all about alignment. When we are holding on too rigidly and we are tuning in too much into the 3D, energetically, if we see something and it's not in alignment, that's really what Saturn and Pluto is for. Pluto tends to give you a chance to see whether it is able to be resurrected. It is able to be worked with. And with Jupiter, synchronistically, it's really interesting. 2 planets going retrograde that denote endings and tower moments. When theoretically, if something's not working, it was heading for a tower moment regardless. Hi, Justine. With Jupiter, the planet of expansion, again, it will hit all of you differently in your chart. There are common zodiac signs during this transit that it will affect heavily. But collectively, we all will feel that energy regardless. So looking at those transits and how it directly affects your zodiac sign, what house it's falling in, you will already know through what you're going through at the moment. Hi, Megan. So, if you can see something particularly not working, and look, yes and no, twin flame. That's a separate energy, especially if you're disconnected from them. It's more going to be directly relevant to your 3D life. Now, when it comes back to your twin flame, detachment's necessary. If you're not getting contact and it's not flowing, you can always look at the mirror in your life of what's happening on your side of the fence. We can look towards TF and say, okay, I energetically have shifted. And when your self-esteem raises and your energy of self-worth comes into play, which is the lower chakras, you then will naturally attract that. It won't be something in a codependent pattern that you will have to manipulate or, like a matrix, move through and play a chess game in order to get the attention. It will naturally pivot towards you. So a lot of times when we're in a fear-based frequency, it is an egoistic experience we are experiencing, and we're battling within. So one could say that when we don't have our TF with us, we've detached. No, you haven't, because even the thinking of the process, it goes through various transitional states. So it's very much a healing energy when you're purging it. It's like the 7 stages of healing. You know, not having phone calls, how that directly relates to you, how detachment of that level is necessary so that it's not completely defining you or pushing your axis off scale to a point it's directly affecting your day. Then there's the next level, which is what you feel they feel you need to be, the detachment of that level and knowing the inner beauty of who you are, needing to align yourself correctly to their wave. The detachment of that is necessary, in knowing it does not matter what another person's needs are if they aren't in alignment with you. And it doesn't mean to say you have to agree with that, but if you are not in alignment with yourself, you're more likely to be falling back into a codependent pattern. You almost very much do need to come to a place with the detachment that you love yourself above all. And I know that sounds really egotistical, but it's having that integrity and respect towards yourself of what you know you are, without the egotistical energy coming through of I'm above you. You know, when we do have that frequency, we do need to be really mindful. What we put out is what we are needing to address within. So, you know, when we're definitely getting on chats and we're writing particular things in an angry energy about our twin, we're out of alignment and we're still doing the healing. And that's not that that's wrong. It's just you won't naturally attract a similar partner if your frequency is at that level. A lot of the second wave is directly connected to breaking the paradigms of connections and family, and definitely with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, this whole year is sizing out endings. So endings of what's not working. Most of you need to understand that in order to get your path on track, we do shift our life. You know, our whole life changes. Definitely through the awakening process, what you do tend to find is you no longer connect to food groups, you change your job, your friends are purged. You may also return to those people to a point where you have a lot of healing and a lot of comprehension of why they came from particular perspectives. And they will generally mirror you in some shape or form in your life. So it'll almost be like a revisit of your old energy in other people, including with your twin. Are you on track right now? The detachment at the moment is a huge energy that we're all going through. You're talking offline. Oh. Why would you feel he is feeling sorry for himself? Because remember, everything is a mirror. He told you. Oh. Say to him, how does that make you feel? The masculines at the moment, and feminines may be getting triggered because they want things to be happening quicker. In theory, we all are going through the same thing. With Chiron being in Aries, it's very much the first house. So all of us energetically are like me. Well, Chiron and Aries, we can be in duality with ourselves, and we can't be with another person until we are in duality with ourselves. So if we're only thinking for another person, we are not in alignment, and we can't fill the other person's cup, not even our twin flames. We need to fill our own cup. We can lead by example, and we can direct and have unconditional love and compassion, but we can't get a person there. Leading by example, and you know, many of the lessons, many of the tower moments that happen are divinely guided. They're actually there to help us learn, especially being stuck in toxic situations, karmic cycles. They're there to help us learn. The nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, a lot of karmic related dynamics are sizing out. So it can be court cases, legalities, balancing of family dynamics, shared care, moving home, moving jobs, getting finances in order. It's a lot that goes into it, and it's really moving through the entirety of the year. A lot of it will start to be moving in a correct, fresh fashion, probably by about September. But there will still be the process to that, and those who lag and don't do the work, so to speak, or avoid that, similar to what the Leo King said, we're just delaying an inevitable transformation that will be coming in 2020. So, you know, if you're guided to and you're feeling something isn't connecting to you, you know, with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, going into retrograde, it's not saying you can't achieve, nor is Saturn saying you can't achieve. So if we, again, look at it from a 3D notion of, okay, the planet's going retrograde, therefore everything's going to be difficult, yes, but it will give you clarity. So it's a really fantastic time to be, yeah, that's Ascension. I'll talk about that in a minute, Dawn. You know, looking back on it, a lot of that going on is to help you slow down. You know, when we're all gung-ho, when we're going too fast, there are details in stories that we miss. So by going retrograde, we theoretically have a slower way to look at the scenarios directly in front of us so we can gain mass clarity. Now, with Saturn and Pluto, what you're guided to do, what you initially will do, is look outside of yourself. Now, that's beneficial if you're tuning into other people to grasp an understanding, but then you must go within, you know, because the Chiron being in Aries, Venus being in Aries, what do you want? You will not move, you will not transform, you will not deal at a 3D level if you can't take accountability. You know, the healing, the purging, the feeling, to get to a point where you simply can be in hermit mode. And this is only an example. It's not to say that if you're in isolation, it's healthy. At times, yes, it is. If you can actually comfortably be with oneself, with no need or expectation on another, and be in your qualm in that energy, you have come into a home place within yourself. Incorporating and readjusting for us this year is going to be difficult because there is so much changing where you could get used to that and then have to reintegrate yourself into society. Empaths particularly will be feeling the energy of that very difficultly so, because it's, how do I put it? When we have retrogrades, especially we had Mercury retrograde, probably from about February all the way through to maybe 2 weeks ago in April, the energy was super heavy. Now with that, what happens is the lower chakras directly get impacted. That governs your desires, your dreams, you know, how you see yourself, your ability to manifest. It's not that you haven't unblocked those chakras, it's that your auric field has been damaged due to the retrogrades last year. So I do need to do videos on enhancing your auric field. Obviously, if you have people you can go to or you can Google to look at videos, you can start doing that right now. So what tends to happen as an empath, and generally this forms at a very young age, i.e. being psychic, you can energetically tap into people's energy. Now, because we've had so many retrogrades and the aspect of your Kundalini awakening and ascension, hi Carmen, you tend to break down your auric field. It's because I'm live and I was like editing, so I didn't have time to put a notification up. Now, with your auric field, if you can enhance that, what you'll find is the ascension symptoms will still be there. Again, it does depend on the amount of detachment you're dealing with. If you're having to really learn how to detach, it's about not helping others form opinions. It's about, because we can lead a horse to water, we can't make it drink. It's about understanding that everything you have in front of you, even your fear about your twin flame journey, is detachment. Because even tuning into a way something is going to come about, no, I'll read that in a minute. If you get a tarot reading, does it also mess with DM's energy field? No. No, unless you chose to then, okay, I'll give you an example. I gave a reading to a friend and I told her something in this I was having. When you're trying to navigate it to look like the premonition or the reading, so to speak, yeah, you're altering that timeline because you're not detaching. It can be an update for confirmation of where you're at. It can be an update in relation to where your blocks are, and it's clarification that you're on the correct path. Or and it can be added information, you know, especially from other twin flames, if you get readings from other twin flames or astrologers on your own spiritual path or ascension, even psychic attacks and things to that degree. It can help you actually navigate through that. So it doesn't affect them. As you work on you, you shift your TF. So you at all times are mirroring, and I've had to actually do a lot of work energetically to tune back in my journey and look at how dual we were the whole way through. There's a lot of information about the first waivers. There's very little in relation to the second waivers. So very much probably the people, and I don't like putting a tag on things, i.e. twin flame, second wave. There's a pocket of people who in this generation that are dealing with their twins right now that have gone through the aspect of the dark night of the soul. If you don't know what it is, again, I'll do more videos on this. Otherwise, you can Google it. Your ascension symptoms, your Kundalini awakening, it is all very much linked to your twin flame path. Reaching that point and purging is part of that process. So as you shift, they shift. Now, when I look back on my journey, there were many times we do say runner and chaser. Yes, it is a dance, but theoretically, when you really tune into your journey, 9 times out of 10, when TF was running, you were ready to. So it is still dual energy where you are doing the same synchronistic thing, one at an internal level, one at a 3D level. So one in the 5D would have got triggered and thought, snitch this, it's getting too hard, I'm scared. The other energetically would have been doing that at the 3D. So the connection into the crown, it's almost the feminines were needing to trust and detach and to break those codependent paradigms, almost to come to a place where you tapped into your masculine energy to balance those things. And the masculines as well to tap into their feminine energies to get into their emotional body and their pain body experience, to not push it down, to let it come up, to reach the crown chakra. So there are things that we are transitioning through, but really one of the biggest things that's been coming through has been detachment. You know, because we do have this theory that if we've detached, it's over. If you truly do understand the twin flame path, you wouldn't be that lucky. Because a lot of what it is to help you ascend to another level. If then both parties do choose to be together, yes, they can, but your purging, your changing, your evolving won't end. So it's like investing in yourself, because ultimately speaking, we do have free will. But the free will part that we don't have is the past life energies and the purging that is to happen in this lifetime. The blockages do slow the ascension down. When you're working on them, it does energetically shift your counterpart. So if you want to do something to help it, the work that you actually do on yourself does help transition that over. A lot of what we are looking at the moment, try not to form a solid opinion of what's coming in. You'll know your likes and dislikes. Detach from your dislikes and focus on your likes. Wants versus don't want. Try and do that. So, you know, especially when you're getting triggered, again, detach, because it's an egoistic experience. A lot of heart chakra activation as well, where we have been so interesting. I've just looked down at the card and my ring's a ruby and the card's a ruby. It's like weird synchronicities. That's another thing you'll be noticing. Careful about your thoughts. Like within seconds, things are manifesting at the moment. So especially if you're tuning into something super negative, detach very soon because you might get some wake-up calls. The energy is super heavy. There's also a lot of supernatural energy at the moment moving into the end of the month. So it may be, again, people waking up at 3, night terrors, energies in the home. again, that is directly connected to your awakening and working on your gifts. So yes, if you're needing a booking and you do want to cover the aspects of your spiritual gift and you're having dramas with night terrors, entities and things to that degree, book a reading, because a lot of it is due to your awakening and you enhancing your gift and your powers to protect yourself and white light yourself. So there's many things you can do. There's crystals, there's bath salts, there's cleansing. Eliminating the things in the house that potentially could have energy. So anywhere the energy is in the house, and you're finding that there's activity there, you need to locate the items in that area that potentially could be holding that energy. You can at times cleanse them, but many times you do need to remove them and live in the environment for a while to see if it takes a change. So there's many things you can do, but if you need to book a reading about that, book away. Let's tune into what else. Now, when it does come to your ego, the stronger we are in a more stubborn sense, the bigger the purge, which is detachment. So some of you might be getting panicked thinking, I've purged, why hasn't this moved? What's going on? Detachment. Hi, Canada. Detachment. It's almost to a point where you know that no matter what you do, you are always in alignment in this moment, in this time. And that this moment and this time is perfect and you are safe. And everything changes always. So many of you, if you're in communication, hi back, if you're in communication or if you're dealing with it and you know there's so much changing at the moment, but we're not quite sure how that's going to look. Everything's changing every day. So, although we don't know the outcome, the good old saying, it's better to have tried than to never have tried at all. It's better to have loved than to never loved at all. But keep moving forward. And when you tell yourself silly stories that it's all over, everything's coming to an end. Yes, stories are coming to an end. New chapters are being written. So, I wouldn't say be brave. Be coherent enough with your crown that you know that new chapters come every day, and that we also do have times when we can reflect back in time when we've had beautiful surprises and it's been like, wow, I didn't see that coming. And again, self-worth comes into that. When we're thinking and tuning into life and we're thinking, gosh, that's so hard, change the energy in the house, shift the home around a bit. I had that probably this month. There was I had a lot of bookings. I had a lot of things, videos I needed to edit. School holidays for Easter. Just a very, very busy time. Hurdles, tower moments. And again, moving the energy in around the house and then accepting that anything that was happening was divinely guided and detaching. Things flowed better. My DM is depending on me to help him out financially. He always does. Detach. Nobody can learn how to sort their crap out if they don't find it themselves. You can emotionally support, financially they need to own their power and deal with it themselves. You can have compassion and understanding. And sometimes those towers are meant to happen because, the changes don't happen. I've been there, done that. Trust, because look at it this way. What they're doing right now, do they want to do it anymore? The blockage, and ask him that. With what you're doing right now, are you even invested in it, or is it a temporary fix? If that temporary fix was to be there, is that going to change the dynamic of who you're going to be? No, it doesn't. And, I had an egoistic experience with my counterpart. And a lot of the times, my counterpart didn't want me to save them. My counterpart wanted to hear, I know you can do this. And, it was a masculine frequency to be the hunter-gatherer, the fighter, and to be able to do those things. So we remained in a cycle for a very long time. And when I finally realised that it was not my arena and stepped back and became the listening ear, leading by example, looking at my side of the fence and being a human being, things balanced. Yes, they took longer than I thought, But it all happens in divine timing, and that's why you need to detach from time. The more you tune into time, the longer it'll be. But really, if they think about it, ask them to calm and breathe. And then say, with your life where it stands right now, are you doing what you feel is good for you? And even if this money come through, would it fix it inevitably? Or is the connection and the situation at a financial level in alignment with you for the rest of your life? Because if it is, they'll fight for it. Does that make sense? That's a nice desert rose. Cool. They will be okay. Everything around this retrograde is, and some of you will be experiencing these things already. And it might be actually freeing them from a situation that they really don't want to be in right now. So tell them to take it as a blessing in disguise. You know, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but some things need to be simpler in a sense of let the tower come down and just go, you know what? Let's live off the grid. Let's live in a shed. Who cares? Let's live simply. Okay, let's tune into the masculines. Too many. Yeah. I was watching a program on TV tonight, and I've actually talked to my counterpart about that. Like, I have lived in a third world country, bathed out of a bucket, made bread, made jams, milked cows. Been there, done that, and it was simple. The days were so long. The necessities of what you need is super minimalistic. But if you have a good feed in front of you and you have been working all day, you appreciate every morsel of that food. The connection with family is more. The appreciation of friends is more. Society's got it all twisted these days, which is changing, which is why all of this is coming, the age of Aquarius. So trust in the process. We want a better way of being. You know, a lot of what's been on the news, I did put it on Facebook, and I do need to do a reading on Facebook, potentially tomorrow. I'll see how I go. I've got to be quick before my battery dies. The articles, for those of you who do follow me on Facebook, they were there merely as a, hey, look with the astrology what's coming up. Because you detach. If a person's with you and they want to be with you, I mean, I've had that many ins and outs with my twin. The reality is I love me, okay? I know who I am. If a person wants to spend time with me, I'm happy for that person to spend time with me. I do not feel second best. You only feel second best if you feel you're second best. Did you receive the picture I sent you on Facebook? I'll have to look in my messenger, my love. I have been working on May reads all day. Fiercely working through. But no, yeah, of your grandmother. I'll go back and I'll check. Okay. A lot of the masculines at the moment are trying to find forgiveness for themselves, okay? But they're also wondering if you can forgive them. Now, there is a blockage within the heart chakra, and again, that is detachment. When you do detach, you find this overwhelming sense of inner peace, and it's not, number one, doing the healing means you can see the perspective of many sides of the fence of the reasons why things happen. Once you have done that healing and you understand if a person loves you, they are always yours. So anywhere else they are was like they weren't really there. But again, private sessions help more with that. Videos are difficult because you don't get to ask questions. I'm thinking that is my issue. If you feel like an option, you are an option. If you deal with yourself. Think of yourself as a shopping list, a beautiful dress on a shelf. Now, is it being hired or is it being bought? How would you treat the item that you purchased? And it could be a V8 car. You know, I've got a V8. I'm going to borrow it. Somebody else's. Don't really care. You know, I don't have that, you know, the passion for it, the love for it. So I'm not going to take care. If you have self-esteem and you have self-respect, you're going to wash it, you're going to clean it, you're going to put fuel in it, gas, you're going to do services on it, you're going to treat it like a queen or a king or a baby. You have to treat your vessel like that. Then everybody else will know the benchmark. And it's not you will come across like a bitch or a cow. You will be, look, I love myself. And I love you enough that whatever will make you happy, I will love you unconditionally. But I am always in life moving forward. And so it makes you worth more because you have that self-worth towards yourself. A lot of times in the early stages of the journey, I was very, one could say, judgmental, manipulative, egotistical, looking at things that they needed to change instead of looking at my side of the fence, looking at myself like a victim, or many things, chasing things instead of realizing I was entitled to them. Again, paradigms of childhood related dynamics. So they're things you go through in a sense of a process and you do detach. Your counterpart feels as though they're never in the right place at the right time, and they feel they missed opportunities, and a lot of forgiveness and heart chakras coming through. So they're really thinking about the past where they'd taken certain steps, and it's not just connected to you. It's, you know, in their own life of what they wanted to achieve and trying to relive their youth, but now not really having the energy for it. But in the hindsight of things, like why they didn't do things in a different format, why they, a bit similar to the feminines, when you've come to that awakened state and you've gone, crap, if I'd only known, I wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. It's really that energy coming through where they're feeling they wish they had, you know, a lot of their hopes and dreams are coming through now, but they're looking at the obstacles on the road with Saturn and Pluto. They're really keeping their cards close to their chest. A lot of them are gradually opening up, but you're going to see it in their own vibration. You'll either sense it from the 5D, or when you see them, it could be you're passing them on the street, or you're hearing about them, you're seeing a picture on social media. Their body is speaking louder than words. They're trying to get that passion back, and they are going through a lot of heart activation. But the wounds lie within the inner child. And with the nodes being in Cancer, a lot of that will be coming up. It may be they're dealing with karmics, with children, as I mentioned, really coming to a crossroad where they're going to have to make some firm choices. And they know this is coming, but they're doing a lot of meditation on it. They're doing the meditation on there. And truly, it's feeling as though, what are they passionate about and what do they love? It's black and white to them. Okay. And the pull and the non-communication is very much, hi, Libra. You know, what am I passionate about and what do I love? And it's all these yellow cards. I mean, look at how many, in a passionate sense, 4 masculine. Yeah, and a lot of them are. And it's because, look, especially when there's financial dynamics connected, second wave is all about families. So you're like, oh, we're going to be fine. And then suddenly, before you know it, you're twins with somebody else. And you're like, crap, what's going on now? It can be their DNA family. It can be a karmic with children. It can be a past life wound that they had a child and it passed. So they end up healing their inner child if their parents passed with the person that has children or having them. And same with feminine, you know, on either side. Some feminines can't even have children because, you know, an aspect of that had to come through for the masculine to heal very separately. Really, a lot of what they're doing is, some of them are feeling, and I'm going to pull a clarifier on this. Hope to God my battery doesn't die. Because like I said, I've been editing and recording all day. Yeah, a lot of what's going on around them that they're not communicating is old crap. It's real old crap. That has been going on for a long time. It's well and truly worn them out. Now, they're not being an enemy to themselves. They're really choosing what they feel is going to make them happy. That they physically would get sick if they went back to doing things in a particular fashion. If any of your masculines or counterparts have gone back to a karmic connection, it's not going to last very long. Because once you've moved to an ascension level to a certain degree, yes, many feminines have done this as well. It's like, I'm scared, I'm going back, go back, and it becomes very toxic very quickly. Now, a child-related issue, potentially co-parenting, it's coming to an end. There is a Tower moment coming in relation to it. Some of these choices that they're going to have to make, they know they have free will. They know they're not, although at a 3D level, it may be that, society says they need to be particular ways. Spiritually speaking, what they're feeling is they're doing their best, but they've done their best for a long time and been at a level where there was no give and take and there was no fairness in the connection. And they're trying to heal their childhood through these scenarios. But they're having some choices and they're choosing, they're looking at the things and the paths that didn't give them blessings. And they're not too happy about that. You want me to be honest? They may communicate about this. Now, these choices, which is moving forward, is in relation to the past of where it affected them financially and where no room was given to them in there to move as a human being. It suppressed them horrendously. Communication is coming through. So this can be documents, legalities, court cases. Their gut instincts are kicking in to a point where they're addressing these things. Their gut instinct is something is coming to an end, or potentially for them, they can't do something in a particular fashion anymore. This can be a karmic connection, and it doesn't have to be with children involved. Some of them may be in a karmic situation and not want to have children with this individual. And they realise that the block and what the person is selling them is false. And even their emotions that they bring through, they're not trusting in them. And I don't mean yours, I mean the karmic energies. They also know who's been faithful to them. So they're really trusting in counterparts' energy. They know what they desire. The outcome card is they know what they desire. The one that they yearn for. The one that's been patient and waiting. I almost felt like saying, what's that nursery rhyme? Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. It's like, where the hell did that come from? They've got Garnet. Now, they're peeved because they feel they're not going to see some of these things coming. The more they're blocked from the path to you, the more they want you. I stay focused on the task at hand, accomplishing my goals, creativity and determination. It's in reverse. It's like they feel as though they've got so much crap that they're dealing with that they're not able to, and it's really chasing them off. Now, on feminine side, and then I'll read the energy in between, you guys feel your foundation is on hold. You also feel as though, you're trying to shift your focus into your creative ventures. So this can be your employment. It can be your imagination. It might be you living in the 5D a little bit too much, but your heart chakra activation is coming through big time. Now, even with your creativity, you could be depleting a lot of your lower chakras. Some of the clearing, it may be energetically, you feel due to the lack of action, you're shifting your energies into different areas, which is activating other chakras at the moment. But I feel it could potentially be preventing some of the purge from occurring from the healing. A lot of this you feel is out of your hands. Some of you are detaching from the 5D to a degree because you're feeling you want to see it in the 3D. And some of you also at an intimate level don't feel that you're like, do I have the attraction? Where you're feeling sort of lackluster. I'm glad, giggle. Some of you also at an energy level aren't having compassion towards the masculine. Now, look, compassion in general should be collective. So if something makes a person happy, we should say, hey, I want you to be happy. You stay there, I stay here. The compassion and the healing is a blockage, though. This is what I'm picking up. It's like there's certain things that are coming up, and you've always got to pay attention to those things because they're where the healing comes from. Some of you, at an intimate level, at a passion level, you've lost hope in this. You know, and some of you will not have compassion if they are in a karmic connection after the fact of having their awakening. Okay, I'm actually seeing a third message. This is interesting. Now, hear me out. Compassion in reverse. I hope I'm not shouting. I'm going to wake everyone up. Compassion in reverse. Detaching from, you know, because as an empath, sometimes we can be, oh, it's okay. No, I'll wait 50 years. I'm just saying, okay? We can be like that. I feel by detachment, not anger, not aggression, not right. I said this, all that. Detachment. Let it go. Okay, well, you stay there. I'm being here. I know what I want. I know who I am. Simple, right? This will affect the karmic end because you're trusting in the process and you're letting the person do what they need to do. As soon as you shift your energy onto your creative ventures, onto what your heart's desires are, even if there's no action. I know, shit, sorry, Carmen. You don't need to see it coming. You don't need to manifest it. What's truly yours will always come back. You're thinking they're not passionate. You're thinking they have no compassion to you. It's helping you detach. It's there for a reason. The lack of consistency, this is turning around. By having this detachment, it's shifting this energy. Things are coming together. Interesting. You got sacral chakra in reverse and you have this card in reverse. Now, this card says, I attract romance filled with divine love. I have a healthy, intimate life. Now, I've reworded that word for YouTube. I will put 18 and over on this. To shift that chakra, you can do meditation. You can also walk. But you need to move at the hips, ladies. Or gentlemen, whoever's holding the feminine frequency. You can eat orange food groups. You can use essential oils. I am feeling as though the blockage of anything that does come up in that level of how you see yourself, how you feel, you know, wear some orange to change that frequency. It can be lipstick, it can be eyeshadow, it can be nail polish, it can be a garment, it can be a jacket for guys, you know, whatever it be. Or create the environment with that. It's going to balance that chakra. That blockage for you guys, I feel it's the detachment. It's what's assisting you guys with detaching. Yeah, because things aren't working, so it is helping you actually work on detaching. So if you see your twin and then you don't see anything, leave it and, you know, get to a point where you allow them to come to you. There you go, giggle. I was looking at red too. I was like, Okay, in between you, the energy, home. Both of you want to feel home. Both of you want to come home to each other, but you want it to feel like home. But home comes from within. You must first come home to self, then counterpart can come home to you. We each are doing this, and it's interesting because the red is oozing Aries energy. Feel at home no matter what happens, no matter what the weather is. There can be a tornado, a storm, a volcano, and if you're peace out, I'm at home and it's divinely guided, it's divinely guided, okay? Everything does happen for a reason. Get grounded, take your shoes off, walk around in nature, get prepared. This is a 5-month transition, okay? Some of you are shifting home. Some of you potentially January, February, March, April. It's coming into fruition from this transit with the retrograde being a 4. Again, both parties are shifting what they believe and perceive as home. You also could be moving a 3D home. The way you perceive family also, and what and who is home. We always say kin does not have to be mother and father. Kin can be friends, family members, your children, Some people might not feel connected to children. Some people, and again, as I said, we can have step parents, we can be connected to them. We can have biological parents, be connected to them, and we can have a disconnection with both of those too. So in an egoistic experience, we need to detach from what we believe is home and allow each person to energetically choose what is divinely guided for them of what they feel is home. Being able to anchor your energy in, I know, but unless we're home, they're not home. And I did mention that to my twin. I said, are we home now? Not me in you, it's we. You need to be at home with yourself without anyone being there, and everything will be okay. Even on the shittiest days, you're ready then, because it won't knock you off your compass. Relationships at the moment are on the back burner. Not that they're not happening. Again, with the Aries energy in Chiron and Venus, we're doing reflection at the moment. It's just for a couple more days. But with the retrograde cycle, that's when we're going to be doing a lot of 3D work. There's going to be a lot of shifts, a lot of changes. Again, look at the astrology. When I do the live sessions, I'll put a notification up, or be nice. If you deal with the things you need to deal with, it won't be shitty. But if you don't and you press the pause button, it's going to remain shitty for a very long time. So what you feel is out of alignment, we need to choose what makes us happy. When I was alone, it was like, okay, I'm going to create the most vibrant life I can have. I asked myself the question, am I energetically ready for a connection? No. And that was in separation. And then it was, is it so bad being single? And I was like, no. What would I like to do to make myself happy? I would like to travel. I would like to have socialization with friends, focus on the business, enjoy the family, walk, exercise, garden, and I chose to fill my time with creative endeavors that fulfilled my hopes and dreams, and actually enjoy going out, being looked upon as attractive. And a wolf whistle, go for gold. Cool. Not defining me, because unless I was feeling that, it didn't matter. But intimately speaking, when you are connected to TF and you are at peace with it, doesn't matter who they're with, because you have that unconditional no matter what. You'd prefer it not to be that way, but you come to a peaceful resolution with it. You detach. The detachment is always, and the detachment usually comes in a very painful way. But you purge, you heal, you get your energy anchored in, and you become one again. Once that happens, that's when you get the reconnection. But it's because you do have to detach, and the detachment comes with you shifting your energy completely onto your own life. That's what the separation's for. Until you can fully detach, and I don't mean looking at a video is not detaching. That's not what I'm talking about. The healing of not needing to know where they are, when they're coming, if they're ever going to come, if you can move a house, because if they don't, blah, blah, blah. What if I take that job in Europe? Oh, then they'll never hear from me. Oh, we're on opposite sides of the world. None of that shit. Detach. Detachment's the key. They'll find you. Mine would find me. Trust me. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. Now, moving into the visualization. If you're getting triggered and you're visualizing all the worst case scenarios, you're going to get it. Detach. If you have something at a 3D level right now in your life separate to twin that you need to deal with, if you don't deal with it, yes, the tower's coming. This moon is changing it. Taurus energy moving into next month with the moon phase will be different. But we're going to be moving even fiercely towards things that make us happy, fiercely towards things that make us feel the luxury of the Taurus frequency. They know what they want, very similar to the Aries energy. Who am I? What do I want? What am I? Taurus, well, no, I know what I want, and it's got to look like X, Y, and Z. But that's what I want. Okay? This energy moving into next month, it's moving quick. Buckle your seatbelt up. Anything at a 3D level you need to deal with it. If you know something's not working, deal with it. If you need to change your job, deal with it. Final card. I am mindful of the energetic connections between others and myself. I automatically remove unhealthy cords of attachment. Okay? I didn't look at the card. You saw me. I shuffled. And what did I call this video? Detachment. Detach. Feminine's crown card. I step forward with joy and enthusiasm. I see my path shining brightly before me. Gold topaz. And again, beyond the crown. Any questions as I clean up my mess? You may be also channeling the frustration of your twin. It might be scaring you at the horrible processes of what they're having to go through and the arduous nature of the time. Detach and have fun. Detach and have fun. Most welcome. Yeah. But don't let it all be work. I mean, don't be like me. Work, work, work. I mean, you guys don't see me on YouTube, but behind the scenes, there's editing, there's recording, there's bookings, there's rescheduling, there's towel moments that me as a twin experiences. Detach. We all feel crazy on this journey. If it's meant to be, it will be. But if you question it, which is 9 times out of 10 where we get to, it's really good that it does come up for us because, again, it triggers us to detach because we kind of feel a bit like, we feel loopy in a sense that we're like, oh, that's it, I've had enough. And then 5 seconds later, we're like, they sent me this message. You know, and it's like, or you say, I'm not doing this anymore. And you're listening to a twin flame video. It's like, it's okay to have a bad day. It's really okay to have a bad day. But don't lie to yourself. It's a process. You're on a merry-go-round. You're on a roller coaster. Don't dictate. Talk. Be open. Sense the situation. Engage it. I mean, if counterparts come back, it's divinely guided. It's meant to be. And there's always lessons between both parties. You can't protect yourself from lessons. You know, it's not like they're the devil and they're coming to get you. No. Yes, it's hard. But if you need to learn and you are feeling drawn and you're open to communicating, communicate. We're human. Find forgiveness and peace, even if it starts at that. Healthy boundaries. The healthy boundaries came in for me gradually, so it wasn't like I went in like Adolf Hitler and was like, this, and this is going to happen. In the conversation sense, yes, but then after it was like just moving into life. Just being me, if that makes sense. Any questions at God knows what ungodly hour? That's not a problem, my love. I hope this helps. Again, even when they're in jail, it's meant to be. It's to have the time to grow spiritually. Trust in that process. Any 3D notion of what's happening. But you also need to ask yourself the question, where do you feel imprisoned? Hi, Bonnie. Yeah, I know. Yes, everything does happen for a reason. So even the time frames of where you've had reconnection, disconnection, but look back at the pattern in your journey and you'll notice a lot of times, were you energetically ready? Or what's going on in your life? Have you not entered a karmic cycle? Is there a situation that hasn't been finalized? Are you having 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out? When you're not operating from an ego point of view. So your intuition is when you're looking at something and you're going, okay, and again, it's not really just the third eye, it's gut. Your third eye sees things. Now go inside and go into the gut. Okay? The gut speaks to you of truth. So your gut tells you it'll go up or it'll go down. So third eye, it does give you visions, but it can happen in your sleeping life as well as your waking life. Any other questions while I'm drinking my cold Milo before bed? Oh, trust me, about 3 weeks ago. Oh, the thoughts that were going through my mind, it was a purge. We were tapping into the collective. There, with the Aries frequency, there was a lot of aggression, a lot of, I'll say the word hate, which was part of the heart chakra activation. Because then with the detachment and the release and the looking at, and Luciana had a great point, and I would call myself spiritual. I mean, I had a multicultural family. So I deem myself as very spiritual. So we can deem it as Allah, God, Gaia, whatever you want to call it, Hindu. When you're connected in, it may be when you're dealing with adversity, and this was the weird thing that she said, and it wasn't weird and it made sense. And I was having some trigger points last week, and she said to me, every time you're hearing the frequency, dealing with the toxic frequency, chuck God in front of them. Just in your third eye, put that person, in a sense, almost like Saturn, accountability, in front of that person in your mind's eye. It was so funny. It was literally like a chess game all week, and I was flipping this almighty person in front of people that were triggered, energetic, angry, aggressive, and it toned the energy down. Yeah. Oh, it's fun. You will not always know when your counterpart's having an upgrade as well, because they will sleep and eat. Very similar to the feminines in the early stages. Yes, it does happen. It's because when they do talk to you, Wendy, they need to go away and absorb the information. It can take a week to 2 weeks. It's like, what just happened? Yeah. Don't stress. Detach. Completely normal. And then you're not codependent. Look at your life as valuable, wonderful, important. Enjoy the vibration. Bask in the glory of how it made you feel. And shift your energy and utilize that frequency of alchemization into your life. Go, that was nice. And be in appreciation of it. Because it is a bit like a fix. It's a bit like pink, you know, your morphine, and it's like detach from it. Feel that vibration, have that, and go, that was lovely. That was really nice. That connection, that openness was great, and manifest more of such. Be in that vibration. But as soon as we go back into codependent patterns or not wanting to detach and going, so I had a phone call, so does that mean they're not going to hear from me? Well, of course, bloody not, because you're having that thought. And then when you do, because of lack of expectation, you're surprised, enlightened, and gracious. Yeah. Well, here's hoping. I'm hoping if I can get these videos ahead, I will be doing the astrology live. I've started picking subject matter and making thumbnails so I can come to you live and I will do subject matter. I am going to be touching base this week on the Kundalini awakening of my experience, which I had an epiphany today. So you may see in the community tab, so those of you who haven't looked, go ahead and look at the community tab. There is a tattoo in the picture, and that's my tattoo. It was actually my twin's tattoo when I pinched it. I was like, I like that, and I'm getting it. And it looks nothing like the image, ironically enough, as we do. It was initially in the picture of it. It was two pythons going up a dagger. And of course, because I've gone through an aspect of the Kundalini awakening, I went, wait a minute. That's a Kundalini awakening. It's smack bang on my spine, which I thought was really unique. So I am going to be telling the story about how that eventuated and what my experience of the process of Kundalini awakening has been. Yeah. So I will be covering numerology. I have been doing more research into that, and I've been getting a lot of downloads connected to ascension, auric fields, chakras, spiritual attacks. So all of these videos I'm going to be doing, but you got to remember, on one person, I do readings. So I'll pre-record them and I'll upload them. If I have time, I'll come live, but I'll try and do at least 1 to 2 a month, and they will build up. Once I've got the videos ahead, I'll be able to bombard you with videos. But I will put them in a timely fashion so you're not getting hundreds of notifications. If you have noticed, I've put up the time frame of when May reads for the zodiac signs will go up for soulmate twin flame. So that's the romance house, and it's more connected to the blockages. Okay, I want you guys to get that. If you work on that, you can ascend to the point of connection. Obviously, if you get a reading from me, I can tune directly into the person and I can tell you what they're doing. But in a general term connected to the zodiac, we need to see the blockages to remove them to help you move into union. So I've addressed the readings in that format. They are going to be launched on the 30th. I've also put a timestamp on the next ones, which are mid-month, and they're going to be opened up automatically. The first set is going to be probably, I think they're in the morning, which will be evening for America, so it'll be 8 p.m. The next ones will be vice versa, so it'll be your AM. But I'll be doing lots of live sessions during the month for masculine and feminine, and I'll come to you with any of the downloads and add additional videos. Is that all right? Any questions before I go? Buckle up. We are going through a 5-month transit. Anything that's meant to fall away, trust it. Yeah, they're very different. Very different, but you're not going to get the benefit out of it if you just get videos. Yes, okay, if you are my regular and I know you, and you know where you're asking me the direct questions, that's great, but you get to ask many questions in the live session. I don't bite. You can choose telephone, you can choose Skype, and you don't have to put the camera on. I don't need the camera. Yeah, but they do tend to be the better ones because it is a spiritual counsel. So, and I can tune into your blockages, your tone, and anything that's coming through that potentially could be blocking you. And then I'll tune in directly to your twin. Anyway, love and light. I will see you soon. I'll touch base with you guys again. I do have a fairly busy weekend, but if you're wanting emergency bookings, inbox me. The prices are on the website. I do emergency readings, but they are free. I do have weekend rates, so if you do want to book in, and I'll talk to you guys soon.